As a filmmaker, you have to tell a story to the audience, and in so doing you have to translate it through an image, which means that you direct the eye and the heart to look in a certain way, the way you want it to be, the way you want them to see it. And I never saw anybody tell a story that way. Pretty much every one of the films. You can study the shots. First of all, you don't go study the shot. You go look at the movie and it affects you or it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
They affected me. And then I went back, when I began to learn more about filmmaking, I went back and I kept saying, why is that one so powerful? Why is it so powerful? I went back and I tried to trace backwards the shots. And then eventually, I started making films before there was video. So I had to do this going from theater to theater, So it was a different thing. I was trying to write down notes. Yeah. So why does something stay with you for so many years? Why do the tracking shots and Paths of Glory stay with you? It's really a person with a very strong, powerful storytelling ability, talent, genius, who could create a solid rock image that has conviction. Yeah. And that is the image. What's in that frame stays in that frame. What isn't in the frame is out. And that's it. You have to compose it in that frame. I didn't know he was a still photographer before.
Until you saw this documentary?
No, I knew that. I knew him a few years later, because we never really actually met. But I've read over the years, Steve Spielberg told me about him and that sort of thing. And I said, of course, the still photography, once you get that image, but then it moves. Still cameras don't move, And so it had this extraordinary authority saying, look, I'm gonna tell you the story this way, and you're gonna see it this way. And then you add to that, assuming there's good and there's bad, assuming something is wrong and something is right. But what are we ultimately as human beings? Are we fundamentally good? Are we fundamentally bad? You can watch these films again and again and again. The Shining is fascinating for that. It's really all going on in his head, Jack's head.
Yeah.
But those scenes that's so, well, even Eyes Wide Shut, with the husband touching areas that he probably should have left alone, or being too confident about himself in a relationship. Remarkable film. Remarkable. And the more you see Eyes Wide Shut, the more you get involved in that world. At a certain point you don't want to because it's too painful.